Hello once again to all our friends and stakeholders and supporters of this show iGreyhound that has all or that have always been with us over these last few years. My name is Cecile Genove, and as always, every Thursday is always a habit for all of us, both those who are behind the show and those among our friends who have been watching us, faculty, staff, students of Foundation University, and those who have been watching us as well all over the world. So this particular Thursday, friends, we have made it a point to invite, well, stalwarts in the university, because I'd like to put it this way. We are amid experts here in the university, and we are featuring them, hopefully, for each episode. And for this episode, this is, of course, no exception. We are featuring the experts of the College of Business Administration, but of course, they are very much a part of Foundation University. So without much further ado, I'd like to introduce these two gentlemen to our televiewers. May I start off first with the gentleman immediately to my left? Well, I have met him, a number of times in the past, and we struck a conversation some time ago, but this time I am glad that he is here, right here in our studio, and I'd like to introduce to all our televiewers Mr. Enrico Grino Jr., sir.
Yes.
But we fondly call him here Sir Butch. Hi, Sir Butch. Pleasant evening po.
Good evening, everybody.
Thank you very much, sir. And beside Mr. Grino here is, yes, another familiar figure on campus. Again, I have struck a conversation with him some time ago, and I am truly glad that he is also right here now at Foundation University, serving also, similarly like Mr. Grino, as a full-time instructor. May I introduce to all our televiewers Mr. Tertuliano. It's quite a mouthful, sir, huh?
That's
Mr.
right.
Tertuliano Pacaña. But how do we call you, sir, for short?
For short, you can call me Turley,
Turley.
but my students call me Sir Pax.
Okay, I think that's more hip, no? Sir
Yeah.
Pax, short for Pacaña.
Correct.
Yeah, so hi Sir Pax and pleasant evening po.
Good evening po, Ma'am Cecile.
Yes, thank you very much. Now, here you are. My goodness, I am talking to two, not giants in the strictest sense of the word, but experts in their field. It's interesting to note that looking at your profile, which I had studied earlier, it seems that there is a parallelism in your respective careers. And now that you are with the College of Business Administration, it's like everything has fallen into place. No? So may I start off first with Mr. Grino, sir.
Okay.
From way back, I hope it's not going to consume the entire show, sir. Okay, sige, sir.
Okay, actually, I'm proud to say that I am a retired banker.
Okay.
What's important for me is that I want everybody to know that I worked abroad for more than 40 years. After graduation from De La Salle University, I was lucky enough to be hired by a large French bank to work in the Middle East. And that was the start of my career abroad. So I left the Philippines in 1980 and worked for a French bank, which was one of the leading banks in Europe and the world, in fact. So I had started a very good career and was able to acquire a lot of advanced training in banking and particularly investment banking.
Okay.
I worked there for about 10 years
In the Middle East,
in the Middle
sir.
East, and then I moved to another bank, which was during my time it was the biggest bank in the world. It was Citibank.
Okay, yeah.
So I worked for Citibank for about 13 years until I reached 50
Okay.
years old. When I reached 50 years old, I retired, took an early retirement, and then joined a Middle East bank, which was right now it's the largest bank excuse me, in Middle East and Africa. It's called the Qatar National Bank.
Okay, yes.
So in the span of 45 years, I've been living and working abroad. And I had 3 employers. However, I was moved from country to country. I worked in 8 countries, including the United States, where I was based. And because of this, I was able to acquire a lot of knowledge, training, and practical experience.
Yeah.
So when I retired, when I turned 65, I
Yeah.
decided to retire and return to the Philippines. And of course, retirement doesn't stop there. You need to continue to
Yes.
work and develop your mental skills. And of course,
Yeah.
my advocacy really is financial literacy.
Okay.
And because of that, I really purposely looked for a place where I can add value and help the people. My advocacy is to share my knowledge and experience with the people, with particularly the youth. And so I chose Dumaguete, aside from, of course, being the city of smiles and
Yes.
gentle people. And I love the beach. I'm a beach person.
Okay. Yeah.
I particularly looked for a good university,
Yeah.
a small university. Well, practically it's a large university,
Yes,
but
yes.
something where you have a family atmosphere.
Okay.
So I was lucky enough to have some contacts with some of the top people in the school. I sent my CV,
Yes.
and even without an interview, they said, "Come over."
Okay.
You know, because of your experience,
Yes,
we'd
yes.
love to have you.
Yes.
So that's why I'm here.
Okay.
I have been here
Yeah.
more than 45 years in banking
Yeah.
with the best institutions in the world in 8 countries as a very senior executive.
Yes.
So I'm now bringing back and
Yes,
sharing
yes.
with the young people, particularly the students here in
Yes.
Foundation University and Dumaguete,
Yes.
my knowledge and experience,
Right.
so that their perspective in education will be broadened.
Yes. Right.
You know, because with all due respect, teaching from the books will not give you a full perspective
Yes.
of life. You need to show and you need to demonstrate and teach them practical experiences that you cannot find in books.
Yes. And you're a practitioner, sir.
And this
no?
is what
Yes.
my contribution will
Yes.
be.
Right.
This is how I will add value. Aside from the academic lessons, which anybody can read from
Yeah.
books, you need to show the people this is the practicality of what you are learning.
Yeah.
And this is how you can implement them or use them to your advantage in your personal and, of course, your professional life when you graduate.
Yeah, and the reality that is
Yes.
out there in the professional world,
Yes,
no? Yeah.
yes.
So you're a classic example, Sir Butch, of someone who is not from Dumaguete, right?
No, in
You're
fact,
from
I don't know
Manila.
anybody in Dumaguete.
Okay,
In fact,
yeah.
you're
Yes.
you're one of the few where I had a old connection because my sister went to school
Yes,
here.
yes, yes.
But
right.
I purposely went around the Philippines when
Okay.
I retired in 2019 to look around for a good place
to settle,
to
no?
settle,
To settle.
which is retirement, senior citizen friendly.
Yes.
I'm proud to be a senior
Yes,
citizen.
yes,
But
yes.
at the same time, where I can practice or convey my advocacy
yes.
to teach and to share my knowledge with
Yeah.
the youth.
Right. You know, that's a very good testimony, sir. And I think, of course, our
Yeah.
government officials may be listening in on us. And that would really be a good testimony of how Dumaguete City has lured people into
Yes.
coming over, no? Not just for retirement, but even working as an
Yes.
individual and being productive still. Yeah, very nice. I'll get back to you,
Of course,
Mr.
thank
Grino.
you.
Yes.
Yeah, I
And-
thought
yeah,
she is
yeah, Mr.
a
Pacaña po.
triple citizen
U.S., Filipino.
and
Okay.
senior
And
citizen.
senior citizen, yeah.
Anyway,
Yes, sir. Yeah, for
in
Mr.
my-
Pacaña, you worked with the Development Bank of the Philippines here, right?
No, it's.
I'm sorry.
First of all, I worked when I graduated here. I'm an
You're an
alumnus
alumnus.
here.
Yes, okay.
And
yeah.
when I graduated in 1974,
Yes.
I worked in 1975 in BPI,
Okay.
Bank of the Philippine
Yes,
Islands.
yes,
And I
yes.
stayed there for almost 30 years
Yes,
in
okay.
BPI, becoming an officer.
Yeah.
And after that, while I was working with BPI, I was also a part-time instructor here in 1980.
Here in Foundation.
Yes,
Okay.
here in Foundation. I was teaching accounting subjects because I became a CPA in 1979.
Yes, okay.
So after my 54th year, I think I was 54 at that time, I availed of the early retirement of the bank.
From the Bank of the
From
Philippine
the-
Islands.
Yeah, from BPI.
BPI.
And then I was taken in again here in Foundation as a part-time instructor. And then I was invited by Dr. Mira to work in her bank, the SG
Oh,
Bank,
yes,
as the
yes.
manager.
Okay.
I stayed there in 2006 until 2008. So that's
Yeah.
about 2 years.
Yes, yes.
But then DCDB, DCDB, Dumaguete City Development Bank, took me in to work as their executive. So I worked there, of
Yeah.
course, you know. But then I was retired banker then.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
So,
That's where the parallelism is
yeah,
between
in
you.
2000, yeah, actually last year,
Mm-mm.
no, from 2009 up to last year, I retired
Okay.
in June last year, but then I was taken in, I was made as the consultant of the bank until December 31 last year.
Okay.
So there, well, I was with the CDB. I was also working at Norso for 3 years as
Yeah.
an accounting instructor
Oh,
also.
yes. Okay.
So I had about more than 40 years also, about 44 years
Yes, yes.
experience in banking. And about more than 20 years as an instructor or a
Yeah.
teacher.
Okay. Okay.
Not just here in Foundation, but
Yes.
also in Norso.
Yes, that's our state
also.
university, no?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have this wealth of experience. That was I was flattered when our dean Gaia told me you'll be interviewed and you will be called the experts.
Because it's really
Yeah,
true. Yes.
experts in what? But
Experts in your field.
yeah.
Yes.
So I was thinking that maybe because we have a wealth of experience
Yes,
in
yes.
work and also uh, wealth in experience in life.
Yes, yes.
And also in family.
Yes.
Because next year, hopefully, we could celebrate with my wife our 50th
Wow.
wedding
That's
anniversary.
a milestone, no? Golden wedding.
And also maybe because I'm handling a little bigger religious organization also
Okay.
here in Negros Oriental. So
Yes,
maybe
yes.
that was
Yes.
the reason why.
Yes,
Because
by all means. Yeah.
so
Right.
that's it. No?
Yeah.
That was my work. And of course, if you asked me, you have not asked yet, what could I brought in Foundation?
Okay. Yeah,
My
yeah.
recent job, that was in the CDB. I was the Chief Compliance Officer, handling about compliance with the bank with BISP regulations and also AMLA laws.
Yeah.
And I am, by the way, also
Money
not just
laundering,
a CPA,
sir, no?
but a Juris
AMLA.
Doctor at the same time.
Yes,
I
yes,
graduated here also
Yeah,
in Foundation. I was conferred that JD in 2019.
Yeah.
2010 here. So I was also handling this law subject in Norso, and here I'm handling this regulatory framework, reviewer about laws in business transaction. So that's it. What could I brought in? What could I bring in to Foundation based on my work experiences? Well, first of all, I was, again, as I told you, I was the Chief Compliance Officer. And talking about compliance, now, I know the students here still need to improve in their compliance culture with respect to their compliance with
Requirements.
the instructions
Or
requirements of the
class
school,
requirements.
and also advices and instructions of the teachers or instructors. Because I just found out I just came back this year from
As a
2008
teacher.
as a teacher here, and now this time as a full-time instructor.
Yes.
So I just discovered since January until today that still some of the students, maybe most of the students, are not so compliant with rules and the advices and the strategies being offered by teachers and instructors. So, by the way, before, when I was teaching here, I was called the terror instructor in accounting. I was known for that. I think some of our co-teachers there mentioned, this is Mr. Pacaña. He's a terror.
Because accounting is also a very challenging
Correct. But then
course
I said,
or degree program.
I think you are wrong because terror has more bad connotations than good.
Yes,
no?
or
So I
negative.
said, I was strict, but I was, maybe you can call me disciplinarian.
Right, yeah.
Not a terror, because
yes.
terroristic activities
Yeah.
is outlawed.
Yes.
So that's it. So now I'm trying to bring back those experiences I had.
Yes.
When I was teaching here as a part-time
Yes,
instructor.
right. And at the same time also working, sir, no? at the same time?
Now,
Part-time before? Part-time
yeah,
and then
part-time
working
as
also at the
working
same time?
also as
Yeah.
full-time.
Mm-mm.
And I was also studying law at the
Yes,
time.
yes,
So,
yes. Yeah.
but I did that because I believe in the principle that only busy people
Yes.
Yes.
can budget their
They
time.
have time, yeah. It's also a
Oo.
dictum that I constantly follow. Only busy people have time. I hope my
Yes.
students also are able to listen in on this.
So
Yeah, very nice.
I was
Uh-uh.
I was like that
Okay.
before. I
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
full-time husband, a
Mhm.
full-time employee
Okay,
in the
yes.
banks, and
Yeah.
part-time student
Yes, yes,
and a
yes.
part-time instructor.
Yeah.
And they were asking me, how come that you were able to do that?
Yes, yes.
Because I am busy.
Yeah. Right, right. So in other words, sir, I listening to both of you, no, and going over the profile that you had actually sent, there are parallelisms between the two
Yes, yeah,
gentlemen.
I
Of
agree.
course, there are also experiences that one may have, the other may not have, but has supplemented it with other experiences. So, for example, Mr. Grino, the last time we had spoken, Sir Butch, you said that you are not even in the teaching profession, but here you're a teacher because you're a banker. However, Mr. Pacaña has been teaching for the past 20 or more
than 20
years, more than
or
20 years. At the same time, he is a banker. So both of you are bankers, but one perhaps has, experience in teaching. Mr. Grino has not taught at all, but now is a teacher. So, Mr. Grino, sir,
Yes.
what made you really say that, okay, I will plunge into teaching? Because you have always been a banker.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that because yes, I was a banker since I graduated in 1976 and immediately I went to banking. But when I acquired senior positions as a supervisor, as a manager, senior manager until a director of the bank, I have always been an advocate of training. And so a lot of the things that I did was the propagation and the embodiment of my staff, my subordinates, and even my colleagues on training and gaining more experience on specific subjects.
Okay.
So during my time, I always make it a point to make either career programs, training manuals,
Okay.
policies and procedures in order to enlighten and to guide the subordinates and the staff of the bank. So yes,
Yeah,
it's
in
the
a
first
way.
time I'm teaching in the
Yes,
university.
right.
But no, I have been
Yes.
training, conducting seminars. In fact, during maybe 15 years ago,
Yes, yes.
I was a very prolific seminar and conference speaker
Yes,
around
yes,
the
yes.
Middle East,
Yes.
around Europe. I've done
Yes,
seminars
right.
on banking, on specific subjects, on project finance, on investment banking,
yes.
on whatever specialized field in
Yes,
banking,
yes.
in London, in Paris, in Frankfurt,
Right,
Dubai.
right.
So
Yeah.
I was always invited, and it is my passion
Yes, yes.
to share
To
my
share.
experience and provide the latest, let's say, knowledge and experience
Right.
to the people, so that I can share my experience from what I acquired in
Yeah.
my professional life,
Yes, yes.
and I can share it to the people. So this is exactly what I wanted to do
Yes, yes.
when I retired.
Yeah.
I'm not working for the money. I'm not
Yeah.
working for, let's say, the prestige. I'm here as a simple retiree, a lolo that wants
Okay.
to help my children, my students.
Yes, okay.
So-
But at the same time, yes, sharing with them,
Yes,
the wealth
yes.
of knowledge that
Partaking.
you both
and
have.
my knowledge
Right.
and experience.
Yes, but the being a teacher in the strictest sense of the word, like unlike Mr. Pacañas, but I think if I may not be mistaken, you had a 2-year stint in a university in Manila.
Yes,
Am I right? After you graduated, sir.
No,
Was
in
it
fact, no.
after
When
you-
I came back, when I retired, in fact,
Okay.
I came back in
was it?
2019, and
okay.
I was in Manila first. I thought I was going to retire in Manila, so
Okay.
I teached in the Philippine Christian
Yes,
University
that is correct.
as
That is correct.
a professor in
Okay.
finance.
Okay. So,
So
I thought that was before you left. That was
no,
after your
no.
stint
Before
in the
I
US.
left, I've always
Ah,
worked.
really? Okay.
But when I
Yeah.
came back, I retired.
Yeah.
I did. It's my alma mater.
Yes,
I
yes.
graduated
Philippine
Philippine
Christian
Christian
University.
Elementary and High School.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then college, De La Salle University.
Yes, yes, right.
But when I came back, of course, I wanted to teach there, but COVID happened.
Oh, yeah.
And of course,
2019.
I hope I don't bash the people from Manila. I didn't like Manila.
Okay.
Too much traffic, too much people, too much population,
Yes.
too much chaos. So I
Yeah.
really purposely looked for a good
Yes.
place to retire. And
Yes.
mind you, Dumaguete is the perfect place
Wow,
for
another
retirement.
another
Yes.
testimony. So
Yes.
again, the parallelism is there,
Yes.
and then the similarity is like, oh no, the difference perhaps is Mr. Pacaña is from Dumaguete, right,
Yeah,
sir?
I'm from
Yes,
Dumaguete.
and then but
I
Mr.
grew up in
Grino,
Manila.
but
Yeah.
Mr. Grino, Sir Butch, came over because he found Dumaguete
Yes.
the perfect place to settle, the perfect place to retire, and there's a bonus because you are teaching here at
Yes,
Foundation University together with Mr. Pacaña. So yeah, in this particular segment, because we have a long way to go yet. So the wealth of experience that you bring in, no, as mentioned, of course, by both gentlemen, is really something that everyone here is grateful for. No, teachers, the students, of course, and here you are. How would you describe yourselves as a teacher now? Like here you are, you're the source of information, you're handling a class. Maybe Mr. Grino first, because
Okay.
coming
Thank
over
you.
to Dumaguete.
Yes. In fact, my method of teaching is very practical and open. The first thing I do is to tell the students when I start a class in the beginning of the semester of my background. I keep on telling them, all of us are the same. We do not come from rich families. We do not have rich parents. We all have grown and all have become successful because of the experience and, more importantly, because of the foundation or the education that we have. So what I instill in the students is that they must be very responsible and compliant
Yeah.
in doing their schoolwork.
Yeah.
Because from the time you start first year university up to the time you graduate, there is what we call the TOR, the transcript of records.
Transcript of records.
This record will be a permanent record the whole of your life, and it will be the key that will open doors or will close doors.
Yeah.
I will tell you why, and this is what I tell my students, and I hope many of the viewers will understand this. When I was a supervisor, when I was a manager, I always interview people to work for the company. So if the first thing that you will do is look for their transcript of records.
Okay.
Why? If a student has good grades, very good grades in particular, that would mean that they have already inherent working ethic because they studied well. That means they are responsible. That means they can be potential good managers and staff. So therefore, I, as a person who understands this, because this is what I did, I will very easily and will be comfortable to hire them. Now, if you do not have good grades, it is not going to be an advantage for you.
Okay.
So this is what I keep on telling my students. From first year, first sem, up to the time you finish, have good grades because that is your
Okay.
passport to success.
Yeah, that's really
The
good.
second one is you need to know how to communicate. Because communication, aside from the fact that, the TOR is the key, but when the door is open, you have to express yourself. You need to know how to communicate, articulate, and share your ideas and views so that not only your subordinates, but also your bosses and also the customers will appreciate you. And this will be a very, very good way for you to be recognized for future promotions, for future movements, and even for pirating, which is other employers identifying you
Yeah.
as a good employee, so they want to get you.
Yeah, right.
So this is the two things that I always tell my students. Take me as an example. We were not rich, but I studied well.
Yeah.
And I proved myself and I reached the top, modesty aside.
Yeah.
I reached the top. Even if I'm not white, I was a general manager of
Yes,
Citibank
okay.
in a country. I worked in 8 countries
Yeah.
in the world
Yeah.
as a top manager.
Yeah.
And of course, this makes me very proud because I am what you call self-accomplished.
Yeah.
You know, no
Self-made.
connection,
Something like
self-made.
self-made man.
Why? Because of education.
Yeah.
Because of education. So this is what I instill in the students.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Mr. Grino. I'll get back to you, sir.
Yeah,
huh?
sure.
And then see, Mr. Pacaña, how
Yeah,
are you as
I
as a teacher now?
Yeah.
After having
first of all, I
taught
would
for
like to
20 plus
congratulate
years.
Sir Butch here being an international.
Yes, yes.
Me, locally, humbly, I'm locally made. That's a local. Anyway, yeah. Comparing my methods and ways of teaching
Yes.
in 1980s,
Yeah,
90s,
earlier. Oo.
yeah,
As
earlier,
as an
compared
yeah.
to now, this
Yeah.
year,
As a first-time teacher before. Yeah.
yes, part-time teacher before, now a full-time.
Yes, yes.
I have enhanced my ways and methods. First of all, I have many experiences to share with them. And students, I observe that when I share experiences, actual experiences, they listen and they are interested.
They're
Yes,
I think they're more interested
Yes.
listening to your individual experiences
Yes.
rather than, of course, reading the books. No,
Yeah.
of course, it's a supplement. The books are a
Yeah.
supplement. Yeah.
And then I also added values
Okay.
enhancement,
Yes, yes, yes.
value formation,
Yeah.
because I am the head of a religious organization.
Okay.
In fact, every class, the first thing that we should do is to pray, short prayer, and they are accustomed to that now.
Okay. So you start
you
your
see,
class, sir, with
with
a
the
prayer.
prayer.
Oh,
Short
that's
prayer,
nice.
and it's not me leading, but each one of them.
Okay. Okay.
So
they take turns.
yeah,
Oo.
they take turns
Leading
praying,
the
leading
prayer.
the prayer, short
Okay.
prayer.
Okay.
I just found out that many can really pray really from the heart,
Okay.
from the bottom.
Okay. Yeah.
So those are the additions that I
Yes,
make,
yes.
no, comparing to the earlier
Yeah.
methods and ways I had.
Okay.
So this is very important with respect to, because man is made of body and soul, not
Yeah.
just all body.
Yeah.
So we have the mind and the soul.
Yeah.
So we also have to nourish our soul and body. So I enhance it with prayer.
Yeah, yes. This is probably something that I also would like to ask you two gentlemen. No? The banking sector is, of course, it's highly gullible for perhaps individuals who might be, for example, no, I'm not. Of course, it's not a general statement, but oftentimes, there may be temptations, no, to be dishonest. Perhaps now that Mr. Pacaña had mentioned about values, no, that are ingrained in your classes, but the banking sector or perhaps the financial climate that we may have, no, perhaps tempts some people maybe to go beyond what they can do and maybe do more, but oftentimes or sometimes maybe through dishonest means. Is this something that, but it's a reality, no? But is this something that you also discuss in class, and how can they weather such storms, so to speak, so that they would be the ideal, perhaps, no, or a good example of a true foundationite who finished business administration here?
Yes.
Sir Butch.
Okay. Now this relates to what I started to tell you a few minutes ago. One of the things I always advocate or to tell my students is that yes, education, yes, high grades, but integrity and honesty is a foundation for success. If you do not have that, even how bright you are, even how good you speak, if you do not have integrity and you do not have honesty, you will not succeed in life. So when I teach, in fact, in finance, in fact, let's be frank, in any industry, you can be gullible to dishonesty and fraud and things like that. However, your upbringing and your personal life and foundation, moral and ethical values, which you build up, and hopefully we started from elementary. I grew up with a Christian school, also Philippine Christian University, just like Siliman.
Yes, yes.
But so I took that the ethical and moral and Christian ways into my professional life, and this is what I keep on telling my students. In any industry, particularly finance, where you can be tempted to do a lot of hanky-panky and earn a lot of money. At the end of the day, the reward does not fit what will happen to you. Okay. So always look for, the most important thing is integrity. So whatever you do, and hopefully all the foundation students will remember this. You cannot succeed. Of course, you need a good foundation from Foundation University education. You need to develop your personal skills for communication and contacts, etc. But you need to have integrity, honesty, and ethical values. Which without such, and spiritual, of course, that's part of it.
Right.
You cannot succeed in life.
You know, those are really words of wisdom, Sir Butch, and I think this is really one great opportune time for you, not only experts, but perhaps individuals who, I think you said this earlier in the show, where you can share insights and true-to-life experiences. Thank you. I'll get back to you, Sir Butch. And then Sir Pacaña.
I fully agree with Sir Butch here. In addition, in fact, I was so happy that I was requested by our college dean to conduct a retreat for the graduating students of CBA. And I prepared the program. I took up the title of Integrity and Human Dignity, including work ethics. So I really agree with you with respect to that. And of course, you have to be in practice, constant practice of this integrity. And I told them, you cannot stay more than 1 year in a bank if you are dishonest. Now, how many years are we in the bank?
Whole life.
More than 40.
Practically, the best years of your life. No?
That's right.
My goodness.
So I shared that with them.
Especially in the banking sector, no? Because this is probably where temptations really are rife and are ripe, especially for the taking. And look at this, no? Now I understand why Sir Butch is truly proud, of course, to have retired from a bank. Both you and, of course, Mr. Pacaña, because that means that your record is like spotless, no? Spotless. Thus, you were able to retire with dignity, with all honesty, so to speak, and become an epitome, really, of what or who a real banker is. So, how important, Sir Butch and Mr. Pacaña, of course, values, you had mentioned that, no? But how would a young, for example, no, young, enthusiastic, idealistic, fresh graduate hurdle temptations, especially when they are now out in the professional world? In other words, what I'm trying to say here is, how would they say no? Will it not be tantamount to walang pakikisama because they're not doing what others are doing? How can we help them along this line so that they would be following the right track? Sir Butch.
Okay. In fact, in any industry, but particularly in the banking industry, which is highly regulated, there is what we call policies and procedures and guidelines, which is very, very specific and very articulate on what you can do and what you cannot do. So whenever a new employee joins a company, particularly a bank, there is a very thorough and comprehensive training program on policies, procedures, and compliance. This is where compliance is very, very helpful and very, very important. It is critical for everybody to understand what the rules and regulations are so that they cannot be ambiguous on what they can do and what they cannot do. Of course, if you are inherently dishonest, you will still do it. But this
Oh
this
my,
goes to what
yeah.
I said.
Uh-uh.
We grow up with training
Mhm.
and experience and having moral and ethical values. So hopefully it would carry over. But having said that, you cannot go wrong in a big modern institution,
Okay.
particularly in banking, because in everything you do, how you write checks, how you
Okay.
record, everything is documented,
Okay.
policies and procedures.
Yes, yes.
And then we have what we call auditor, financial auditor.
Okay.
Aside from your supervisor, who is the day-to-day business
Yeah.
activity supervisor and monitoring you, you have an auditor. Aside from that, you have a compliance officer
Okay, yeah.
that makes sure that all the rules, internal and external rules
Yeah.
and regulations, are strictly followed.
Okay.
But as I said, it's up to the upbringing and training of the students.
Yeah.
Before they go to university, during university, we hope that we can instill with them not only the intellectual values and the
Yeah.
knowledge, but more importantly, the ethical, moral, and Christian values that they can take with them in their professional life.
Yes, okay.
Because as I said earlier, you cannot be successful without those three.
Yes, right. Integrity, honesty, and everything
Yeah.
else, no?
Yes.
So it's not enough that you simply just earn a degree, no, and be at the top of your class,
Yes.
but perhaps walk the talk, no?
Yes.
And implement what your university or what your school has actually ingrained in you. Yeah, Mr. Pacaña, how would you then reconcile, no, values, integrity, and so on, with one's spirituality, if I may put it that way?
Yes.
Should they go together?
They should go together. In addition to
Yes.
what Sir Butch has said,
Yeah.
we instill compliance culture
Mm-hmm.
in all the officers and employees, including the directors, board of directors.
Yes.
We conducted. My department has been conducted this training, instilling compliance culture of all officers and staff. And of course, the bottom line here, even with all these compliance trainings, the bottom line is they must be God-fearing.
Yes, yes. Okay.
They must be, of course, that values that they have to live out. That's what they need. And of course, the only helper there is God through prayers.
Okay.
That will strengthen them
Yes.
through enlightenment. Because if they do it alone, nothing will happen.
Yes, yes.
So you have, aside from the compliance culture, the religious program will come in also.
Sir Butch has been in the banking industry, banking sector for the past 40 or plus.
Ever since I graduated.
Ever since you had
1976.
Yes, from Philippine
So,
Christian Union and
no,
De La
De La
Salle,
Salle,
De La
yeah,
Salle,
yeah.
De La Salle University. But this was in the Middle East as well as in the United
States and Asia also.
And Asia as
I was
well.
country head in,
Yes,
in,
right.
in
Yeah, and then Mr.
Taiwan,
Pacaña, of course, in the Philippines. But how has the climate changed as far as the banking industry is concerned? During your time, which is not really too long ago, huh? And even for Mr. Pacaña's time. And now that here you are imparting your experience and knowledge to our students. How has it changed, if any?
Well, you know, what you learn and what you experience will always be a part of you. So I think it will not change. What is important is all of us have good and bad experiences. So what is important is we assess what is good and what will be of value or be of benefit to our students. And this is what we should share with them.
Yeah.
And in fact, we should even encourage them as an example to do what we have done so that they can succeed and even exceed what we have accomplished.
Yes. So they look up to their teachers, of course.
Always
no?
as a model.
Yes, as a model.
I
of
always
course.
tell my students, look, modesty aside,
Yeah.
I would not be here
Yes, yes.
without good studies, without good education,
Right.
and without being God-fearing.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
And the integrity and the record,
Yes,
no, that
yes,
we keep.
you know,
Yes.
ethical, moral,
Yes,
and
everything.
personal
Yeah.
habits,
Right,
etc.
right. That would make you a true professional, no,
Yes,
so to
yes.
speak. Yeah, Mr.
Yes.
Pacaña, sir.
Yeah, I thought climate change about the weather. But anyway, climate change maybe in
Yeah.
the work
Or maybe in the
environment,
landscape, yeah.
yeah, and also work in the bank and how instilling that into our students.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, we go back to integrity.
Yeah.
They should not forget that integrity, dignity, and everything about religious, it should be inculcated with them.
Yeah.
And this should be also not just inculcated, not just learning this, but they have to live out this. So that could be a change in climate and how I did to my students comparing to the earlier years that I was teaching.
Yeah. So it's like walking the talk,
Yes,
no?
walking the talk. Of course, knowing the talk first.
Yes,
because we
knowing
cannot
it.
really live it out without knowing. So if we go back to Christ, we should know Christ, and we have to live Christ. And after that, sharing Christ, not just with ourselves, but with our families, but with all others that you have in contact with.
Yes. Is the business administration degree program, whether it may be accounting or accountancy or finance or what else, financial management, would you consider it as a what I'm thinking now is it's a versatile course. In other words, if I graduate from a degree program like what we have here at Foundation University, I can be employed everywhere or anywhere. Would that be how it is in our program in the university, Sir Butch?
Okay. Having a business degree is a very, very good background.
Yeah.
But I always keep saying there are many, many types of professions or advocacies that you can go into. It really depends on what you're interested in.
Okay.
You can only be successful or you can only do good if you are interested and you like what you're doing.
Yes.
If you do not like what you're doing, no matter how intelligent you are,
Okay.
you cannot succeed. So, on my case,
Okay.
I took up accounting because it is a good background and it is universal. So, accounting, and I had minor in economics.
Yeah.
And so it was a very, very good background for banking.
Yes.
Because in banking, as you know, it's economics and finance.
Yes.
So, but what your question is it going to prepare you for life?
Versatile course.
Versatility.
Yeah. Versatility.
Yes, because in finance or banking, in anything you do in life, of course, except for the very technical, nursing, doctor,
Yes.
lawyer, in any business or economic field, you need to have diversity or experience in finance and economics.
Yeah, right.
So it can prepare you for everything
Yes.
that you can do, unless you want to be another type of highly
Yes.
technical profession.
Or veering away
Yes.
from
No,
business administration.
Just to conclude, my message is the students have to plan what they want to be.
Okay.
And so even at this stage, they must already understand what they want to do, what their plans are after they graduate
Okay.
in 5 years,
Okay.
in 10 years, so that they can strategize. One of the courses I'm teaching is strategic planning.
Okay. Yeah.
You just don't arrive at your goal.
Yes.
You need to plan your goal, do your business plan, and there are several phases or steps that you must accomplish in order to reach that goal.
Yeah. So it has
yes.
It's a process.
It's a
long
process. It's the same thing in life.
Okay.
But basically, it all starts with developing or formulating your goal.
Yeah.
And your goal is, what do you want to be? If you do not know what you want to be, it's what I call in Tagalog sabog. You don't know what you're going to do.
Neither
so
here
you'll
nor
be
there,
lost.
no?
All
Yeah.
your university, you're not happy.
Yeah,
you don't know
yeah.
what you
Right,
do.
right.
You want to do, and you are not preparing yourself.
Yeah,
so
right.
being in university is preparing yourself to meet your goals and objectives in life.
Correct.
So
And this is the
yes.
preparation, really.
This is
no?
preparation.
Yeah, this is preparation. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Pacaña, sir.
The most, for me, the most versatile graduate is an accountancy graduate.
Okay, yeah. Okay. You're a CPA, sir, no? Yeah.
Yeah, not because I'm a
Yes.
CPA, but in actual practice,
Yes, yes.
when we are interviewing applicants
Yes,
for
yes.
employment. When here is an accountancy graduate, we give more preference.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
For accountancy
okay.
graduate. That's in actual practice. Even in banking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an accounting graduate.
Yes, accounting
Yeah.
graduate also.
But I have an MBA.
Yeah,
not a
MBA.
CPA.
I was about to say that. Yeah,
Yeah.
MBA, Juris Doctor.
So that's it. Accountancy is preferred than other graduates
Yeah.
actually.
Okay.
I think not just in banking, but in other
Yeah.
field.
Yeah, other fields. No?
Business and
Other industries.
Yeah.
no?
Industries,
So it's
that's right.
always a helpful. It's
Yes.
perhaps a bonus. No?
Because you know the training in accountancy, it involves perseverance, humility,
Process.
analysis,
Yeah.
evaluation.
Analysis,
That's
yeah,
all
very important,
that is needed for unemployment
Okay.
compared to other graduates. Sorry, but
It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. And then
We're proud.
Yeah, both gentlemen also you affirmed and you had confessed that you are both grandparents. If
Yes,
I may
yes.
ask,
That's
both
right.
them, and you teach your students as well, not only about lessons or theories in accounting and finance and financial management, but even lessons in life. No.
Yes.
Oo. So, Mr. Grino, what
Well,
words
as I
of
said
wisdom? Yeah.
earlier, all of us have different experiences in life, good experiences and bad experience. But it's always important because even bad experience, they are the experiences that give you lessons. Without lessons in life, without being hurt, you cannot move on and you cannot learn. So I, in particular, always instill in my grandchildren and of course my students
Yes.
now
Okay.
that there are pros and cons in life. The most important thing is for you to analyze. One of the subjects I teach, in fact, is risk management. Life is taking
Yeah.
risk. But the first thing you have to do is identify the risk and then understand and evaluate and assess the risk and what you're going to do about it. Whether you're going to succeed or provide the action plan, or you can avoid it. So you have
Did
a
your
choice.
coming to Dumaguete City a risk on your part?
No. In fact, I did a lot of homework.
Okay.
Again, this is the accountant
Research.
and risk manager in me.
Okay.
When I returned to the Philippines in middle of 2019, I purposely went around
Okay.
the Philippines.
country.
As I said, I haven't been here for more than 40 years, so I
Yeah.
didn't have any,
Yes.
preference. I went to Bacolod, I went to Davao, I went
Okay.
to Cebu, Bohol,
Yeah. Okay.
and then I went to Dumaguete because I remembered my sister,
sister,
went
yeah.
to Silliman University.
Yes.
So I was here in the 70s. And I honestly voted or preferred to go to Dumaguete because
Wow.
it is perfect for
Yes,
retirement.
Yes. And the
Okay.
amenities are here.
Oh, yes, well,
yeah, of course. No?
When you retire, you have already hopefully reached the peak. And so
Yes.
I've been there, I've done that. So
Right.
I'm not here for
Yes,
for
yes.
luxury. I'm not here
Yes.
for prestige, for
Right,
showing
right.
off. I'm just here low-key, but I
Yes.
want to contribute
Yes,
to
that's
the
really
youth
nice.
and to the population
Yeah.
and to the community.
Yes, you're right. Thank you
Yeah,
very much,
yeah.
sir. And then, Mr. Pacaña, in terms of of course, we had
Family.
mentioned the versatility as well as the things that you have shared with your students. Being a parent, a husband, a grandfather, just like Mr. Grino here.
yes, praise God that I
Yeah.
have 4 children,
Yes, okay.
2 boys and 2 girls, but they are now all married, and I have about 7 grandchildren.
Okay.
I have 7 grandchildren.
Yes.
And we are happy that I have this family. but I am not so happy because they are far away from
Oh,
me.
yes.
Same
Okay.
here.
Yeah. Si sir,
Yeah.
may I butt in? Yeah.
Yeah,
5 children, I think,
Yes,
sir?
I have 5
Five
children. 3 are in the United States,
Okay.
2 are in Manila, and I
Okay.
have 7 grandchildren.
Wow, just like
Oh.
Mr.
Yes,
Pacaña. Look at
But
that.
as I said, I'm alone here in Dumaguete.
Okay, yeah. Another similarity with the two gentlemen.
Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Pacaña, sir.
So my youngest child, a registered nurse, is in Las Vegas.
Okay, yes.
And my eldest son, now in Ormoc. My second eldest son is in Lapu-Lapu. They are
Okay.
all engineers.
So they're all over, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my third is that Mascom I told you about.
Yes.
But she is staying with me, with
Yes,
us,
in
because
Dumaguete.
her husband is in Singapore.
Yes. Okay.
So most of the time, only the two of us.
Your wife and
My wife.
Yeah.
Seeing each other.
Yes.
Talking to each other sometimes. As if we are just brother and sister.
Yeah. Okay.
But I am happy with this family.
Yes, very nice, very nice. So truly, it's an epitome of how it is to be successful with these two gentlemen, coming, of course, interacting with your students, and at the same time teaching them theories about life in general and how they can prosper and be
Yes.
successful in the professional world. So very,
Yes.
very quickly, sir, both of you, just maybe a 30-seconder message to our televiewers, starting off with Mr. Grino. Just very, very short, sir.
I'm very happy and honored to be here in Dumaguete, and most especially, I thank the faculty and staff and officers of Foundation University for giving trust in me.
Yeah.
I sent my CV. I didn't have an interview, and they said, please come and teach with us because we would appreciate you sharing. And I'm very happy to be here to share with the students my 45 years of knowledge.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir. And Mr. Pacaña, sir?
Yes, I'm so thankful to you, Ma'am Cecile, giving us the opportunity to be with you and share our experiences, relative experiences, and of course, our life,
Yes.
actually. So thank you very much. And hopefully, our
Yes.
audience
Yes.
also like what we share, and hopefully, they could live it out so that, of course, we go happy together
Yes.
in life.
Yeah, so this is certainly not going to be the last time. I will certainly still bump into you on campus and hope we
Yeah.
can have you here again, maybe on another topic, but certainly this is not going to be the last time that we can have you here on iGreyhound. Our two gentlemen, the experts, yes, of course, of the College of Business Administration that we are all proud of. No? So Mr. Butch Grino, I'd like to call him Butch,
Yes.
Mr. Butch Grino and Mr.
Sir-
Pax. Mr. Pax or Sir
Pax.
Pax Pacaña? Yes.
Yeah, for my students, Sir Pax.
Sir Pax, yes.
For you, Pax.
Pax. Wag naman, sir. Okay, thank you very much,
Thank you.
gentlemen. Thank
Good
you very
evening.
much.
Thank you.
Yes. So with that, friends, we bring to a close another very interesting episode of iGreyhound. We hope to have you again in our future episodes here on Channel 6. And of course, we are being streamed live on the main Facebook page of Foundation University. Please do not forget our replays on Channel 6 every Friday and Saturday from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 3 in the afternoon. Once again, thank you very much to my stylist, Miss Nicole Kalumpang, for my beautiful outfits on the show as always. This has been Cecile Genove bidding everyone a pleasant evening.
Grit, determination, resilience. These traits are what made Foundation University overcome the obstacles of the pandemic for more than 2 years. With the future being uncertain, it was difficult to make plans. Life, or whatever was left of it, in the minds of Foundationites was at a standstill. This year, just in time for the new academic year, Foundation University shows to the world that she can weather any storm. With full face-to-face classes back, the campus brims with life, as teachers and learners make up for time spent online. The challenges in the past have tested how far Foundation University can go. From where we are, there is nowhere we can go but up. As we rise and stand united, we face the coming year with optimism and hope as Foundation University proudly soars on her 74th year. Just as the Greyhound is capable of leaping to greater heights, so does Foundation University. FU at 74 proudly soar.
The entire world has been on the cusp of its fourth industrial revolution, the era of artificial intelligence, robotics, and smart devices. Not only do these changes influence our lifestyle, they shape the future of jobs and the skill sets students must master to face what is required of them. Education 4.0 is here, and FU has your back. Deciding on whether or not to attend university, as well as which university to go to, are tough decisions to make. We're here to assure you that continuing your education at FU is well worth your while. Why? Because we focus on quality, innovation, and versatility to guarantee students the preparation they need for the real world. In 2015, the World Economic Forum reported the fluctuations in core skill sets and how they continue to change drastically. What was once demanded has faded away into automated jobs, and what is now sought for in the job force are complex problem-solving skills, emotional intelligence, creativity, and precise communication skills. People must also adapt to incorporating smart technology, robotics, and artificial intelligence in several fields now. Research has shown that the safest jobs that won't become automated anytime soon by robots are careers in creativity, innovation, and people-oriented positions. It's a huge transition the next generation has to face, and that's you. But there is no need to worry. In fact, it's time to get excited. With big change comes big opportunity, and FU has fully integrated Education 4.0 to prepare you. So what exactly is Education 4.0? It means the synthesis of smart technology to promote independent digital learning at a student's pace. Essentially, a student can learn theoretical knowledge and soft skills at home while honing practical skills face-to-face. FU already demonstrated its prepared and adaptive state by having the iPad program in place before the pandemic hit. And we managed to quickly switch to online courses for our students, unlike any other university in Negros Oriental. As Benjamin Franklin once said, failing to prepare is preparation for failure. We want every student to succeed and will do whatever it takes. We realize that job security means skill set flexibility. If you have an entire arsenal of skills at your disposal, then you can choose between a whole host of jobs upon graduation. And if you feel prepared for a new chapter in your life, you'll excel with a strong foundation of confidence. Our Foundation University Expanded Learning Program, aka FUEL, has not only allowed FU students across the Philippines to continue learning despite the pandemic from the comfort and safety of their own home. It has brought forth the opportunity to advance each student's skills with technology. It's an absolute must in the 21st century to navigate the threshold of the internet and software programs through our electronic devices. We saw our own faculty create innovative approaches for transitioning their lectures and laboratory courses online, as well as our students' ability to adapt to virtual classrooms and enhance their self-discipline. It doesn't matter if it's online or on campus. FU graduates come out on top, not only feeling more prepared than other graduates around the nation. They are more prepared. This is because our unique pedagogies break what's outdated in traditional teaching methods. We incorporate the latest webinars and workshops from experts all over the world. We make sure every student becomes fluent in the language of technology and relevant software programs for their fields of study. We emphasize constructive feedback in our courses and guarantee each class to be a safe space for discussions. We promote cross-cultural communication skills across every discipline, and we continuously update our curriculums because that's what preparation is all about. The bottom line is, we religiously adapt to keep our students ahead. There's nothing like knowing you are fully capable and ready for the job market that's at your disposal. It may seem intimidating to see the long, exhaustive list employers put out for potential candidates because they're trying to make their lives easier. So we have concentrated on making it easy for our students. We make sure that they can check off every asset on the list. The average person goes through about 12 different jobs in their lifetime. So what if an innovative education steeped in the right direction could get you there with ease? That is what FU is offering. It's not only about job opportunities, it's job opportunities for decades to come.